So I just wanted to give some information about this Kenai River Guide Academy. It's the course that's required to guide on the Kenai River. It was quite a course, 5 days long, full of information. Chris has been guiding in Alaska for over 20 years, so for him it wasn't real valuable. But Peyton, who's never guided fishing anywhere, is just trying to learn about guiding, found it incredibly valuable. So it was nice to have two different opinions. My opinion doesn't matter. Bottom line is, it doesn't really matter if you like the course or you don't like the course. You have to take it. So you might as well go and enjoy it and learn what you can. So the course is offered twice a year, 2 consecutive weeks. It's a 1-week course, so you got 2 shots at getting into it. I think there's about 25 people and entries into each course. Registration happens sometime around November, right around just before Thanksgiving. It is like an eBay auction. You've got to be sitting there at 8 o'clock with your information ready, your credit card, everything, in order to hit that button and get into the class. Very, very difficult to get in. Once you're in, the class then happened, I believe it was February. It was quite a course. I'm going to read through just the agenda for the course here. Basically, the Kenai River was crazy for a while. It was combat fishing. Everybody was out there bumping boats, and all the organizations got together and said, we got to fix this. We got to do something to get some order in place. The river is managed by the Alaska State Park System. What I really found to be valuable information was that they want us to be guiding out there. It was not an adversarial situation. They want the guides, because without professional guides, you just have people out there doing everything, doing whatever they want. Tourists coming that might be dangerous for them. They don't know the river, they don't know the fish, they don't know the reasons why rules are made. And so they really did value having the guides there to help people enjoy the river, enjoy fishing, but do it in a way that's beneficial for everyone. They brought in a tax guy, talk about taxes for the borough. They brought in the state park, so they talked about the permits that are required and the National Wildlife Refuge permitting system. The Board of Fisheries came in and talked. They talked about catch and release, handling your fish, measuring, releasing the fish, caring for your catch. These are things, again, that Chris would have already known, but Peyton really found it valuable. Tuesday, we had visible management tool guides clients will see on the river. That means signs. Signs. Visual management tool guides. That's a sign. But what are the signs? What do they mean? Why are they there? The shoreline is very, very important to the little tiny fish. And so when people are just walking all over, smashing down the vegetation, it ruins the habitat for those little fish. Little fish turn into big fish. Let's see, wildlife habitat. We talked about moose and bear safety. You know, if we've got clients out there and it's our responsibility to make sure they're safe. And so when moose or bear come near, what do they expect you to do? And then what you do might be 2 different things. But let's see, the Coast Guard requirements. Economics of sport fishing. So that was actually a really good one. Shannon Martin, she came out and talked about what they do with our money. So every guide on the Kenai River, it's $1,100 a year to register to be a guide on the Kenai River. And what do they do with that money? As I was counting people up, I'm like, that's like a lot, $300 and something thousand, you know, when they talk about all the guides that are available. But she actually showed what they're doing with the money, the restoration projects that they've done, the decks, the walkways. It was really good information. I really enjoyed that. So then they've broken the river up into different sections. There's lower river, upper river, middle river, and what the different issues are on those different areas. Ethics of guiding. You know, it's not always just about rules. It's sometimes just about the right thing to do. So Wednesday we had identification of salmon and their life cycle. This guy, biology professor emeritus Dr. David Whartonby. This guy was he was on his game. He really knew right down to the plankton level type of thing. It's not plankton because that's in the ocean, but down to the microscopic level of where those fish go and how the process happens. He was fantastic. They brought in this. There was another guy that came with him, Ben Meyer. Ben is a young guy. If you look him up, the dude has done a lot of things. He was pretty fascinating, and he's with the Kenai Watershed Forum. They had some really good information about the whole biology of the river. Let's see. We had boating safety, survival, Kenai River regulations. I didn't enjoy the regulation part. To me, every year Fish and Game puts out regulations, and then and I don't know about the state you're in, but in Alaska they change these regulations almost on a daily basis by executive order or emergency order. So it's your responsibility to sign up for the text or the email that sends out the information that says, hey, I know we made this book full of rules, but they don't matter anymore. Today we changed the rules. It's pretty crazy. And so if that's the way the regulations happen, I don't understand the purpose of teaching us regulations when they change on a daily basis. Teach reading comprehension, teach how to read what's in this book, how to figure out what's there, because sometimes that's a project in itself. Let's see. That was the regulations. And then we had Kenai River history, cultural. They had some cultural people come out, scientists and things, and talk about the history of the indigenous people. I don't know what the term would be. Let's see. Operating, we had a guy come out from Yamaha. He's the Western Regional Yamaha guy, and he talked about Yamaha motors, which is fantastic. If you have a Yamaha motor, if you don't, that was a waste of my time. Middle River issues. Let's see. The class photo. And then we actually had a test. And this was a legit test. 100 questions. It was not easy. There was, you had to listen during class. You had to take notes. You had to study. It was not like a driver's course, driver's training. I've been through a lot of these types of courses with the government, and most of them are what I call release of liability. You took the class. Now, if something happens, it's your fault because you took the class. But the legitimacy of the test was not there. This thing, 100 questions. It was not easy. If you're going to do this, you gotta listen every day. You gotta take notes. You gotta study. Literally got to study. The three of us had a study session. It was a legit deal. Then we sat before an oral board, which was a couple of people from different parts of the river, and you just had to answer the questions correctly, and it wasn't always just a rules question. It was a, hey, what's the right thing to do kind of question. This was our binder. It's legit. I mean, it's full of stuff. It's a legit class. What I found really interesting is I know I keep saying that I find things interesting. So the guides are held accountable by both cities, Kenai, Soldotna, by the borough, which is equivalent to a county, by the state park system, by the federal government, by the National Wildlife Refuge System, by the Coast Guard, by the native corporations that own land on the river, by the private landowners that own land on the river. All of those people are watching to see if you make a mistake. Many of them have a law enforcement agency who their rules don't always align with each other. So I came out of this class just knowing that I'm usually a rule follower. I'm mostly a rule follower. Sometimes I follow the rules, but I've just subjected myself that I'm gonna pay a fine, that we just need to put money aside. That's our extortion money, if you would, we would try to follow the rules, but there were so many rules and they don't all align with each other. And which agency is asking you to do this one or that one, it's an extremely difficult thing. So when you come out, if you come out, you decide you're going to go fishing, and you think, I don't want to pay that silly guide to something I could do myself. You probably might be able to do it yourself, but you might get a ticket also. Yeah, that was the Kenai River Guide course. If you're interested, I don't know, send me an email or something, drop it in the comments. I'll share any information I can with you. There was very little information available for me when I was digging around ahead of time, so I just thought I'd put this out there and let people know that that's the deal. It's the only river, I believe, in Alaska that requires a course just to guide on it. And it was a legit course. They brought in some great people. They brought in some folks that, again, if I own a Yamaha, then 2 hours of Yamaha information is valuable. But that's the Kenai River Guide course.